Chukudi took me seriously there. Well, let me welcome Chukudi Okoliobaja. We're only talking.
Victor,
good to see you.
No, we're always talking. Journalists don't shut up. That's why some of them get into trouble. Yeah, Ray, how are you doing?
Very well.
I'm not one of those who get into trouble, even though my mouth is my weapon. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Chukudi. Welcome. Let's take a look at the papers now and see some of the headlines that are trending. We'll begin with the Blueprint newspaper. And, of course, the lead story here is on Kwara Katsina Benue killings. Says Operation Savannah Shield hits Kaima. IGP orders deployment of tactical intel units. The writer says Northern Senator Zabas orders condemn terror attacks, seek decisive action. All right, away from that, just above the masthead, we have how Kaduna State Government, ONSA DSS-led operation freed 82 Kurumi Wali worshippers. That's according to Ubasani. That's the governor of Kaduna, and that's on page 14 of the Blueprint. Looking away from that now, looking below the picture story, of course, the trending story is the Electoral Act. And the headline here says, on e-transmission of election results, we stand. According to senators, the writers vows to monitor bill till presidential assent. Reps raise conference panel for harmonization. All right, all of that trending on all the papers this morning. Looking away from that now, we have murder. That's the kicker of this one. 3 men to die by hanging in Oshun. You want to find out why? Page 7 will guide you. And of course, ex-Nexim Bank MD Oria jailed 490 years for 2.4 billion naira fraud. Interesting. That's on page 6. It will make an interesting read, of course. And looking at the green strip at the bottom of the Blueprint, we have $1 trillion economy. Sustainable roads will cut food prices, improve goods movement. That's according to Goronyo, and that's on page 19. That's about it on the Blueprint this morning. Victor, what do you have?
All right, I have a Friday leadership with me. And beginning with its stories just below the headline, the nameplate rather. Trump, Nigeria's first lady, a very respected woman. And for details, you get it on page 7 of the leadership. And just beside it, e-transmission, opposition parties, leaders accuse Senate of resisting electoral transparency reforms. That's on page 7. And a major headline, freed Kurumi abductees. Kwara attack survivors recount ordeal. That's on page 4, and it has 2 riders. Bandits gave us small gari once daily for 18 days. Freed Kurumi abductees. They tied up those who surrendered and executed them. Kwara attack survivors. And the tiny strip just below that. Saudi Arabia reaffirms data submission deadline for Hajj pilgrims. It's on page 4. And of course, the picture story details leadership conferences. I see Governor of Ekiti State. But in politics, Turaki says no cause for alarm as INEC recognizes Wike-backed PDP. Nigeria added only 6 products to export basket in 30 years. That's according to the NRS chairman, and it's on page 24. U.S. troop deployment respects Nigeria's sovereignty, says DHQ. You get details on page 19. 2026, Lagos tops as states' budgets hit 37 trillion naira. It's also on page 24. And finally, Osimhen's salary could fund entire squad, says Galatasaray manager. All right, not sure what he wants us to do with that, but details on page 29.
We will talk about Kurumi Wali. We are grateful to Providence that they are out now. But first of all, the unpredictable one said something about our First Lady, which I think we should talk about. I want to tell him that we beat him to it, because we have talked about Oluremi Tinubu on and on and on here. Well-groomed, easygoing, as simple as they come. And I remember when I talk about her, I talk about Victoria Gowon. I talk about Mrs. Obasanjo, Stella Obasanjo, and of course Mrs. Babangida also, you know. So we have had this string of first ladies that had respect. But I'm happy that the unpredictable one is talking about our first lady. You know, that's Trump. Free the Kumin Wali abductees. Yes, they took small Gary. But the important thing is that they are out free now.
Sure.
They can take all the Gary they want now. Thank God, one Mudu is not about how much Mrs. John.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Now, because you know shake your pocket, you for know the price. So it's affordable.
It's Gary.
That's the point you're making.
I don't know.
She doesn't eat Gary anymore. U.S. troop deployment respects Nigeria's sovereignty. It's good to reassure the public about that. Otherwise, they would not be here if there was not some kind of agreement that would be mutually beneficial. These things don't just happen, you understand? But I like the fact that they're saying it. They are in very sensitive Africa. Africa is very sensitive. So you need to do a lot of PR, a lot of messaging to reassure people. Africans would read many motives into a simple act. That's the way it is. Come to think of it, it's something you owe them anyway, you know. So that's a good one.
And the e-transmission is still being talked about.
Yes, on e-transmission they stand.
Yeah.
That's senators.
Yes.
Good.
And the opposition parties are accusing, accusing Senate of resisting electoral transparency reforms.
It's okay. People can accuse people and all that. Remember what we said yesterday. As journalists, we should be for e-transmission. Make it practically impossible for them to do jiggery-pokery, according to one of my news managers in the East in those days, you know. So make it as difficult as possible for them to thwart the voters' choice or preference. But remember what we said yesterday. Manual counting is still a reality in Nigeria for the fact that broadband coverage of the entire nation may not be assured. There are people, communities that are not going to get MTN or Glo signals. Are you saying they won't vote or that their votes won't count? We are always realistic as journalists. Otherwise, we want e-transmission through and through. You know? We want to make it a Bobue affair, you know?
No, but there are always criteria. There are always criteria for elections. There's nowhere in the world where every single person that is eligible votes. If you don't do the needful, what you are required to provide, well, you don't want to vote.
Yes.
Actually, well, I mean, all of that, all the dust about the Electoral Act will settle, I'm sure, in the coming days and months, of course. But let's look at this story. Ex-Nexim Bank MD jailed 490 years for 2.4 billion naira fraud.
How many years?
490.
Are the children going to inherit some of the jail term? They are probably going to run. Some will run concurrently.
Even if it's running concurrently.
Even if it's running concurrently.
Well, I just want to read the AKU. The AKU corner has a very interesting banter on this. It says, ex-Nexim Bank boss backs 490 years for 2.4 billion naira fraud. And the response is, at least he's guaranteed longevity.
Longevity. That's the demonic humor from the newsroom, which you and I enjoy. I hear the officers' mess has it too. Well, you know, you come and crack one joke that somebody outside there would think that it's witchcraft that imbued your courage, you know? Well, the question we ask at the end of the day is this. What did he need all that money for? Not be crazy with that. I don't know whether it's because I don't get money. What they're talking about is stupid. Now, if you're getting all that money for your children, what would they do with their lives? I'm one of those who will tell you that inheritance to my children, if I have a lot of things to hand down, will just be partial. The rest will go to philanthropy. They have to use their lives to do something, for crying out loud. What did he need all that money for? He get thief will be
greed. Just greed. The director says it's about time to go, but you know this story is interesting. It says sustainable roads will cut food prices. improve goods movement. That's according to Goronyo. And I quite agree with that.
I like it when they say cut food prices. Mrs. Jones of this world.
The ease of access.
They almost jump from their presentation chair when food prices are cut. What about the farmer? They are cutting food prices, but the input, the farmer, you know, does to his agriculture. What you use.
Okay, the input, yeah.
The input, yeah.
It's
more expensive,
high.
exactly.
Even the spraying machine is going to about 24,000 now.
So roads alone will do it.
It's good that food prices are coming down. But that hinterland farmer who relies strictly on the sale of his groundnuts and
to feed his family.
How does he survive? Those are questions we need to ask government. So make it all round.
So in a bid to cut prices, we should be careful not to make agriculture, less lucrative for the farmers themselves.
Actually, sometimes it results in some people not planting up to half of what they would have planted, because they'll tell you where's the money going to come from it, and they try to see some other things they can do. Ultimately, it leads to scarcity of food later.
All right, Chukwudi.
All right, Chukwudi.
Gather some food for us. I'll join you later.
Thank God it's Friday.
What is man?
Have a good day.
Chop, then they take no you. Thank God it's Friday, my sister.
Enjoy your weekend.
All right. We'll see Chukwudi again on Monday, and we'll see you after the break. Please stay with us.